Hey everyone, it's Ally and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over my Middle Eastern fragrances once again. I have a nice little haul here for you. I have 6 fragrances that I'm going to be getting into and talking about that are sort of newer to my collection. And yeah, if that's something that you're definitely interested in, then stay tuned. But before I get started, if you want to catch more of me, you can always find me on Instagram under Goddess on Neptune. Same on Threads, and like always, I will link every fragrance down below for you guys to check out. Now we're gonna get started with the first one, and also if you hear a lot of rain and stuff in the background, I'm really sorry. It just hailed like crazy. I'm gonna post it on Instagram if you want to check it out. It was out of nowhere. It was like sunny and fine one minute, and then like these crazy hail balls just fell out of the sky. I thought it was the end of the world. It was smacking my window. I had to stop recording to let it ride out, but it's still kind of like drizzling now. It was nuts. It was nuts outside. I was shook. I was halfway through my video and I was like, the Lord is testing me today. He's testing me. And man, was he testing? But anyway, we're gonna get started with the first one, and that fragrance is going to be Harim AlSulan Gold. And this one I picked up for around $45. The bottle looks like this. It's really pretty. It's got a red little crystal on the front and a really pretty like ornate sort of cap that has another red crystal on it. This one it retails for around $45, and it has notes of rose, bergamot, nutmeg, jasmine, amber, agarwood, patchouli, and sandalwood. And reading those notes, you would think it's kind of a dense, sort of heavier style fragrance, but it's really not. This is really crisp. It's clean, it's floral, it's a little candied. I really like this fragrance, and the sprayer on this is amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. This is going to be a great summer fragrance, and this is going to work the best in high heat. Right now, wearing this, I get about 5 or so hours when I wear this fragrance. It surprisingly packs a punch for such a light smelling fragrance. And dare I say, this is kind of a basic smelling fragrance, but when I tell you that this is probably one of the most complimented fragrances that I've worn in a while, this is really attention grabbing. Every time I've worn this out, I've gotten compliments on it. I've had people be like, what are you wearing? You smell so good. And each time it's been this, or it's been this layered with something else, which I find really interesting because it is really like attention grabbing, if I'm honest. The best way to describe it, and I think Simi from the Sim Squad described it best, it's like opening a bag of Haribo gummies and getting that whiff of them. It kind of opens up smelling like a bag of gummy worms or like gummy bears. It's really, really beautiful. As it dries down, you start getting a bit more of that floral component coming through, and it really does shine and sparkle and just smells really effervescent and really playful and sweet. And yeah, it's just really well done. It may be a basic smelling fragrance, but it's done so well and smells so refined that it's really going to turn heads when you wear this, and it's really going to smell delicious because this is a delicious candy smelling fragrance that is reminiscent of gummy bears, if I'm honest. And honestly, I can't be mad. I thought I would smell more of that patchouli, the agarwood, and the sandalwood, but you really don't get any of that. The star player in this is fruits and florals, and that's pretty much what you get with this fragrance. Pretty long lasting on me, 5 hours or so. I think this will do a lot better in summer heat, so I'm excited to wear it then. But for right now, for what it is, it's really, really beautiful, and I'm really glad to have this in my collection, sort of macerating for summer, because this is going to be spectacular. And honestly, like, it may be like basic in my opinion, but like, it's basically really good. Like, don't take offense if I'm calling it a basic fragrance. There's nothing wrong with a basic fragrance. This is basic as far as like there's not a lot of complexity going on, but it's so well done and so well crafted that it's a star fragrance. Like, this is perfection. I originally wanted to get this in the oil form because it came in only in oil form originally, but then I was like, no, like I don't know. I don't know if I need another oil fragrance in my collection. I have so many that I'm going through right now. And then they ended up coming up with the EDP, and like the oil was so popular on TikTok and it was so hyped up and everyone was like, this is amazing. It's the next best thing since sliced bread. So I thought about it. I thought about getting it, but honestly, I'm so glad they came out with a spray version and an EDP because this is 100% worth it. Especially if you want something ultra feminine and really fun and easy to wear. This is going to be your one right here. It creates a nice little bubble around you. But like I said, I feel like this will be monstrous in high heat. And I'm excited to wear this in high heat because in the area that I live in, it's high desert. So it gets hot. It gets really hot here in this area in the summertime. So I'm kind of excited to have this in my repertoire. And yeah, that is Harim AlSulan Gold. The next one that I'm going to talk about is one from the house of Cadl, and this one I had sort of high hopes for, being that I tried the other like sort of flanker to it, Senua Snite by Cadl. This one is called Ombre Notes, and the bottle looks like this. It's really, really beautiful. It's this sort of, oh, come on, focus, bottle, focus, there we go. It's this sort of like goldish bottle with a gold cap and a little gold crystal on the cap. You've got notes of bergamot, musk, geranium, caramel, musk, amber, cedarwood, cacao, vanilla, and oud. And honestly, when I read those notes, I was like so excited because I enjoyed Senua Snite so much that I was like, this is probably going to be a hit. I just have a feeling about it, and like, yes and no. So what I find really interesting with this one is that though I find that this does lean feminine, there is a very pronounced oud note that is animalic and it is very barnyard-esque. So if you're going to invest in this fragrance, definitely keep that in mind. It is really beautiful. When I first got it, I remember taking it out of the box and just smelling it off the cap, and off the cap, it was delicious. I definitely got that caramel and that musk and that bergamot, and it gives off a Baccarat Rouge vibe. Smelling it right off the cap, you almost don't even smell the oud until you spray it. And when you spray it, it is oudy. It is a little stanky. I will say the sprayer on this is phenomenal. It is stinky, it is oudy, it is intense. The first time I wore this, I got asked if my socks were smelly. Yeah, my partner was like sitting on the couch and he was like, your feet smell really bad. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I think your feet stink. And I was like, no, they don't. I was like, my feet never stink. And he literally grabbed my foot and tried sniffing my foot. And he was like, oh, that's weird. It's not your feet. What is it? And we ended up finding out it was the fragrance. He was smelling that stink. It has this sort of feel. It's the type of oud that smells like you've been petting a goat. And then after you pet the goat, you smell your hand. That sort of barnyardy, sort of like dirtiness that has the sort of animalic touch. That's the kind of oud you get in this. It takes quite a while for that to simmer down, but once it simmers down, you are left with this very beautiful Baccarat Rouge-esque sort of feel. That has a slight carameliness. But honestly, like, I think a lot of people are really going to struggle with this one. If you're not familiar with that sort of style of oud, there are really smooth ouds that are easier to wear, and I've smelt ouds that aren't very barnyardy. This one is a bit intense. It stank. Like, it's got some stink to it, but it's weird because I do enjoy it, even though it has that sort of stinkiness to it. There's something about this that is a little bit addicting because that Baccarat Rouge type of DNA is an addicting DNA. So I guess I can't be too mad at it, but like, if I'm honest, like, it's really hard to look past the oud note in this because it's a very stinky oud note. This one retails for about $33. Definitely long lasting. This could fill up a room easily. It's got great projection. I think this will honestly, even though I think it leans more feminine, I think a lot of guys that aren't scared of something a little bit sweet could definitely pull this off because of that really interesting oud note. Definitely an interesting one. I love the bottle. I wish the oud was turned down on this one, or it was a different style of oud, because yeah, it takes like about an hour and 30 minutes for the oud to die down to get to a point where I find it a bit more wearable. It's a, I hate to say it's a very challenging fragrance, but it's a little challenging for me. Not the style of oud that I personally enjoy. The oud in Senua Snite was really well done, really crisp, clean, added a really strong backbone to the fragrance. This one adds a backbone, but oh, like that's all I think. Like when I smell this, I'm just like, ah, it's a backbone, all right. The backbone of a heifer or something, because it stank. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is one that I was pleasantly surprised with, and this one is called Minerva. And if you cannot tell, this is from the House of Maison Alhambra. It is a stunning bottle, like, and if you can't tell what it's reminiscent of, this is supposed to be a dupe of Memo Paris Marfa, which retails around 300 and something bucks. This one I paid only $19. You've got bergamot, nutmeg, lychee, rhubarb, lily of the valley, peony, rose, musk, vanilla, woody notes, and lavender. And first off, the packaging on this is spectacular. Very reminiscent of Marfa from Memo Paris, like the eye, the whole thing, the black long bottle, the cap, everything about this is screaming Marfa, but for a fraction of the price. Now, Marfa is one of those fragrances that I never got to get my nose on, but there was so much hype about it being a beautiful white floral fragrance, and this too is a stunning, gorgeous white floral fragrance. If this smells anything like Marfa, then Marfa is a spectacular fragrance more than likely, because I really enjoy this. This is creamy. It's rich. It's very white floral, just boom, bam in your face. It's absolutely addictive. There is a slight pepperiness to this that makes it stand out. It's almost like peppery and green at the same time. This smells sophisticated. It's very creamy, rich, and dense, but you get a lot of white florals. It's absolutely spectacular, and this is so long lasting. It's the kind of white floral that almost gives me a slightly sunscreeny vibe, but it never goes into sunscreen territory, but it's reminiscent of like a sunscreeny white floral type of fragrance. This smells tropical, luxurious, like you're on an exotic island surrounded by like lush gardens of white florals. To me, this almost has like a tuberose sort of vibe. It's really beautiful. It's like beautiful, bright, creamy tuberose with a little bit of complexity because it's got this sort of peppery green vibe. It just puts me in a good mood when I smell this, and it's so long lasting. Immediately off the bat, it lasted a pretty decent while. I got about, I want to say 7 to 8 hours. This lingers forever on clothes, and for the price, honestly, you can't beat it. And like, this smells expensive. This smells like an expensive, niche, high-end fragrance. I honestly can't find anything wrong with this one. And for $19, you really can't go wrong with this one. Definitely worth getting in your collection. If there is one in this collection or this like group that I'm going to say is like, wow, this one is a kind of wow fragrance, especially if you're a lover of white florals. Do yourself a favor and look into this one because it's so dang good, you guys. So dang good. Creamy, white floral forward, tropical, absolutely delicious, 10 out of 10, and such a compliment getter. I've gotten a few compliments wearing this one since I've gotten it. Really, really beautiful. I highly suggest checking that one out. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is one that I bought by accident. I meant to buy the female one, the girl version of this one, but I ended up grabbing the guy's one. Not too bad of a fragrance, but definitely one for my boys out there. And this is 9 a.m. from Afnan. You've got notes of lemon, mandarin, pink pepper, cardamom, green apple, lavender, orange blossom, rose, musk, moss, patchouli, and cedar. My guys out there, if you are looking for a fresh, aromatic, almost tea-like, everyday, like signature fragrance that's gonna leave you feeling invigorated, then do yourself a favor and look into this one. This is bright. It's a very inviting and aromatic and just so like effervescent. This smells like the quintessential perfect like Monday morning. Like you wake up feeling good, you're ready to tackle the week. It's a beautiful sunny day. The sun is shining bright. There's a crispness in the air. That's the sort of vibe that this fragrance gives me. It's got a sort of woody backbone. You definitely get that sort of cedary vibe in the back, but primarily I get the juiciness and brightness of the green apple mixing in with that lemon and mandarin. That's a star player in this, is that green apple, lemon, and mandarin, honestly. There's something about this too that has this aromatic quality that sort of gives me like a tea-like vibe. So if you're really into like really easygoing, everyday signature scents that are just easy grab and go fragrances that aren't going to offend anybody, this is a really beautiful one. It's bright. It's not at all in your face. It becomes one with your skin. Like, it's very beautiful. It's like a beautiful tea that is also very aromatic, bright and juicy. That's the best way to describe this. I really like it. My guys out there, check this one out. It's honestly a really gorgeous fragrance for men. I really like it, and I think it would be amazing for a man, especially in summer. This is another one that will perform beautifully in high heat and is probably best worn in high heat. Yeah, that's the most appropriate situation for this one. I can't see a guy wearing this in like winter or fall. It's a little too light for those seasons, but end of spring, summer, this is really gonna shine and smell absolutely stunning in the air. My guys out there, check this one out. Now, the next one that I'm gonna talk about is one that I've had in my collection for a minute. And this comes in a set of 3. There are 3 fragrances to this particular line, and this is from Emperor. And this one is called Aurora. First off, the packaging is stunning. You've got notes of orchid, heliotrope, tangerine, gourmand accords, tropical fruity notes, vanilla, musk, and sandalwood. And I really like the presentation to this bottle. It's almost got like this snow globe sort of effect. But as you can see on the inside, it has like the Sydney Opera House in Australia. There are 3 fragrances in this line that are marketed towards women. There is one marketed towards men called Nightfall. And I have all 3 of the women's ones. If you guys want me to talk about all 3 of them as a collection, let me know, because I do have thoughts on all 3 of these. There is this green one, which is a really popular one on TikTok for some reason. A lot of people I see talk about this one, but I don't see a lot of people talk about the other 2, Dawn and Dusk. Definitely an interesting collection, and I have my thoughts. And if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments, because I have all 3. So if you guys want that, I can dish out a video of it this week. Just let me know. But yeah, this is a really beautiful, again, all of these fragrances have amazing sprayers. I like lucked out because the sprayers on these are amazing. Now, to me, this is a very tropical sort of gourmand sort of fragrance that reminds me, if I'm honest, of Elie Saab's Shine, you know, the flanker that had the pineapple note, and Cherryosa 62. If you took those, the body spray Cherryosa 62 and Elie Saab Shine, and combine them together, you would have this as their baby. It's warm, it's sweet, it has that sort of really sort of tonka-like vanillic base. And on initial opening, you definitely get some sort of tropical fruit. To my nose, this translates as pineapple. I've seen people be like, oh, strawberries and cream and this and that. No, I can almost see why they would think that. In the first few seconds of the opening, you almost get this sort of berry-like vibe that could translate as like strawberries and cream. But after that second or 2, it immediately opens up to this very citric sort of pineapple-y sort of tropical gourmand goodness. It's really, really beautiful, really dense, really pretty. This would work in all seasons, summer, winter, fall, in my opinion. If you want something sweet and playful, that smells like a cross between AllyKatReviews Shine and Cherryosa 62 mixed together with an amped up pineapple note, then this is going to be the one for you. It's really delicate, really pretty, and honestly so worth having in your collection if you love that sort of gourmand tropical summer type of fragrance. This is really, really good. The longevity on this is about 7 hours or so. Right now that it's cold, I know it's going to project and do a lot better in the heat, but right now as it stands, it's a really solid fragrance. I really enjoy wearing this one. I've worn it a few times since getting it. And yeah, I have nothing bad to say. It creates a beautiful sillage that's very reminiscent of Cherryosa 62, mixed, like I said, with AllyKatReviews Shine, and a really amped up pineapple note. It's really juicy, really sweet, really feminine. If that is your vibe, do yourself a favor and check this one out. I do recommend this one for what it is. It's amazing. And I think I paid like 31 bucks or something for this one. Oh, the Afnan one, I will link where to get it, but it retails between $19 to $24, depending if you want to get the tester or the regular one. I opted for the tester and it came just like that. For the tester, and I paid $19. So my guys out there looking into this one, definitely get the tester. I will post it down below where to get it, and it's 100% worth the money. Now the last one that I'm going to talk about is one that is newer-ish to my collection. I've been playing around with this one, and this is Kir Fusion. Kir Fusion lychee, I don't know how to say it. I like to say lychee, but I hear people say lychee, so it confuses me all the time. This one retails for around $43. You've got notes of black currant, red apple, lychee, lemon, jasmine, candied violet, damask rose, sandalwood, cedarwood, vanilla, and musk. And this is a total dupe of Cadl's sparkling lychee. I think it's called sparkling lychee. I tested that one out in Sephora. I think it was in December. And I remember liking it, but not being impressed with the longevity, because about an hour after like spraying myself down with it, I couldn't smell it anymore. It was very light and very fleeting. But then again, it was in the middle of winter. I didn't really get a chance to try it out in high heat, but like, let me tell you, the sprayer on this, amazing. This is very much the same fragrance, but much more intense and bam in your face. Very, very similar from what I remember, except on the other one, I do remember this sort of woody note that was a little bit more amped up in the original. This to me is really amped up on that candied violet and the lychee. On initial blast, I almost get like a bubblegum lychee sort of vibe. It almost smells like you took a candied bubblegum and you added like a lychee flavor to it. It smells just like that. It's juicy, it's bright, it's crisp, it has a slight cleanliness to it, but it's really sweet and really feminine and just really pretty. Like, this is such a pretty girl fragrance. It's a gorgeous everyday fragrance. This is going to do amazing in summertime. If you were looking into getting the Cadl sparkling lychee, but maybe it's a little too out of your price range, or maybe it didn't perform that well on you like it did on me, this one right off the bat was a good 4 to 5 hours on me. And like I said, it's newer in my collection, so it hasn't had time to macerate. More than likely this is going to get stronger and better, but right off the bat already it's knocking it out of the park. I like Cadl, I like their fragrances, but they hit a home run with this one. Paris Corner came through and was like, we got you, girl. This ain't gonna last an hour on you, because this sure as hell didn't. It lasted on me 3 times more, almost 4 times more than the original Cadl sparkling lychee, and I'm really glad to have this. Very candied-like. I love the lychee note in this. It's not overtly like milky in any way, because lychee can smell very milky to me. This is more of a candied lychee, and the apple and the blackcurrant play so beautifully with this, but the star player in this is that lychee followed up by that sort of red apple. It adds in this sort of pinkish appeal that this fragrance has. I smell this and I think pink bubblegum that's lychee flavored. Really, really pretty, really, really girly, really, really dainty. I really like this one. Really glad I have it in my collection. If you want to smell like sparkling lychee bubblegum with like a slight sort of rosy backbone, this one. Get yourself this one in your collection. I highly recommend it. Get it, get it, get it. And yeah, you guys. Oh, last about, yeah, I already said how long it lasts. The sillage on this is really beautiful too. If you want compliments and you want to smell good in summer, this one. I don't know what I was going to say. But anyway, yeah, let me know, you guys, if you want to see me talk about the trio of this one. If you do, I will make a video on that. But definitely let me know your thoughts and if that's something that you guys even care to see. I really like Emperor. I like their fragrances. I've tested a few things from their lines, and I'm honestly kind of impressed. And I think this is another Middle Eastern brand that is just really, really good. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that. But till next time, I hope you found the video informative, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.